Now I know you're working on some exciting things and working to expand the business, and perhaps you just take our audience high level through some of these initiatives and how you're looking to continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year we did start a new company, a new corporation. We joined our talents with the talents of a company out of Southern California, and we came together and formed New Home, Nuhome, New Home Sales and Marketing. Pretty clear what we do in the title,
Mm-hmm.
and our goal from that standpoint is scale. Our business, is a volume-based business. I mean, you're not hitting, grand slams, home runs, they're base hits, or bunts or whatever you want to call it, right? Like we need to have a volume to what we do. And, we looked at how do we, do this. And again, a lot of that is God is good, and He opens doors and brings people into your life that sometimes you don't expect, and kind of out of nowhere. And you meet them, and cultures align, and thoughts align, and vision aligns, and out of that came New Home. And right now, we're just in California. All of our builder clients are currently just in California, but we're in Northern California. We're in the Bay Area, Central Valley, and we are about to be down in the Central Coast. We have a new project coming online down there, kind of in the SLO area. And then we're in Southern California, and we have 6 builders down in Southern California. And so we're growing, and our goal is to continue that growth, and where that may take us, we'll see. I think that, we're open to seeing how far our reach can go. But I think right now we're just trying to take it one step at a time, build a solid foundation, and really, get our systems in place to make sure that we operate efficiently, because, if anything, we know that that's what drives the machine, right? Like, you got to have those systems in place so that, it just kind of flows and create success. But yeah, I mean, we're super excited about it. Along with the New Home aspect comes tech, and we are building out our own tech platform that is specific to what we do in the New Home Sales and Marketing arena for home builders. And so all the tools and the widgets and everything that we can think of, we're pulling all of that together and customizing our own tech, so that it'll set us apart from the mom and pop shops, or and again, I never try to throw shade, but it's like, really a lot of our competitors are the resale teams, right? They say that they do new homes, and they work for a well-known resale entity, and they have a team of people, and they go in and they sell out these communities for builders, and some do a great job, and some could use a little bit of help. And but we just find that we're a polished, well-oiled, professional, expert organization at New Home Sales and Marketing. We eat, sleep, breathe, like that's just what we do. And there aren't a lot of organizations like ours, especially as you move out of California. I mean, in California, there are a good number of entities like ours, at least probably 6 that I could think of off the top of my head, which, I mean, you go into some of these other states like Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and there aren't, most of them are the resale, platform. So again, we just look at the opportunity to provide that service to builders, because, and for our sake, I guess I would say that a lot of builders, need teams like ours that can come in and build out a talented sales team that has systems, get them trained up, put those processes in place, and then, roll out that marketing and be able to, kind of deliver the metrics on it, right? And use that accountability to really drive home the sales. And so, yeah, I mean, it's definitely new, no pun intended. And it is very exciting for us, because, I mean, my ultimate goal is to build I'll just say, the biggest new home sales and marketing company that we can. But I want to be the best. I don't want to just build a company. I want to be the best. And so, through this process and through my new teammates, I really feel like we've got a real great, push forward, and I'm super excited for it.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I am kind of curious, like, what are some of the key differentiation points about what your organization would provide? So let's say we're in somewhere in Arizona, and there's, again, not a marketing company like yours, and there's just these resale teams that are coming in to support selling homes and these new developments. What are some of the key differentiation points that you provide, as opposed to just someone who would be coming in and who primarily does resale?
Absolutely. Again, I would say really our systems and our processes that we implement, and kind of how we could walk in the door with a home builder that all they tell us is, I have this piece of dirt, I have these plans approved with this city, what do I do next? Right. And we can roll out the full suite of, from, DRE, and even earlier on. I mean, there really isn't anything that we actually don't like to be a part of. Even when builders, and this is what's great, we have some clients, just last week, we were in a meeting where the builder is in his due diligence period, and he's bringing us in and asking us to review the product. He's asking us about the competition. He's asking of us about pricing position. He's asking us about, amenity level, right? And so we're able to, because this is all we do. And, our experience, we've sold, 23,000, new home units over the decades. And so, like, just having that experience and knowing, what to look for and what's going to set us apart, and knowing our competition in the marketplace, because that's, our job. That's kind of what sets us apart. And then, coming in there, being able to source good talent, and then helping train them up, right? Give them whatever tools and resources they may need to be as successful as possible. But I would say our sales processes, our follow-up systems, which kind of play into like our technology, and kind of how we set up our workflows or our work, to make sure that we're consistently following up. Data tracking, right? You can't argue with data. So when you have those numbers, and you can look at it, and you can see where your traffic's coming from, what your traffic is, what your sources are. Pivot marketing dollars from here to there if we think that, we're not seeing a lot of activity from here, but we are seeing some good engagement here. Why don't we pivot some of this stuff over here and see if we can actually bring that up even more. I would just say that, for us, structure, accountability, technology, those are the things that really set us apart.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that you are able to work with these, developers earlier on in the process, and just like help them go down
The
to
earlier the better. To be honest, because we're the ones that have to sell it, right? Yeah. So if we can have input in what we're going to be selling, like, absolutely, we would love to review the floor plans. We would love to review, even last week, we were literally sitting there, we're going through this meeting, and the builder's going back and he's adjusting his square footages, because the competition that he's going to be selling against isn't selling that well, and they're in the same square foot range. And when you're looking on the plot map for all of the competition, there's this gap, right, in the market over there. And it's everybody's payment sensitive right now. They're not so much price sensitive. Like, the price really doesn't matter if the payment works. But price drives traffic. They see this number that they like, that they think they can afford, and it brings them in, right? So you got to have great pricing to get them in the door, but you got to have the right programs to, get them to a payment where it's going to work. And you got to know that, right? And, so again, we, as early on as we can be involved in the process, we're absolutely here for it.
That's amazing. That's super cool to hear.